What up, running fam? This week we got the Matanzas 5K and the DONNA Half Marathon. Holy cannoli, that was a crazy good run. Great race. Official time 23:18. So not only did I PR by over a minute, first sub 24. I don't know what it came over me this race. I going into it, I didn't feel like it was gonna be the greatest because I had the company party last night, and I did have 3 drinks, which weren't heavy, but still, I'm okay, if I'm having 3 drinks, it's probably not going to result in anything good. But the first mile, I ran 7:43, so I was I'm a second behind the pace I wanted to be for a sub 24, because I think 7:42 is what you got to get for sub 24. So I'm okay, if I can maintain, maybe make up a second, I can get that sub 24, or if at least I maintain, I can PR again. And then second mile was 7:39, so I'm all right, I made up that time, let's stay steady for the last mile, 0.1. And then something just picked up in me, and that third mile was 7:14 pace, and then the last 10th of the mile was 6:51. So I don't know how I did it. Again, I thought, with what happened last night, I didn't even get into bed until after 11. Cold this morning. It's this does not feel like it's going to be set up for success, and quite opposite. Killed it by over a minute. I still can't believe it. This is probably be the new bar. It's funny because this wasn't the one. The next race was the one I set the bar for the entire year. But yeah, we're gonna have to see how we're doing for the rest of the year. Got another 5K next week, but we're gonna see if we can continue riding this high and keep getting better and better, and get sub 23 soon, and maybe sub 22 by the end of the year. So it is the Wednesday before the race. I might combine this video with the half marathon, DONNA Half Marathon, that I'm doing with my dad as a pacer. This week has been all sorts of messed up because I don't know if it was food poisoning or stomach GI or what it was, but starting Sunday morning, my stomach has just been turning. I haven't really ate that much, didn't really want to eat that much. Nothing really was coming out. That's why I didn't think it was food poisoning, because usually stuff is coming out of me, but nothing was really coming out until this morning. Not to be TMI with it, but everything kind of relieved itself this morning, so I felt good. But I didn't want to go running with all this stomach issues, because who knows what would have happened when I've been out there. So today we're doing the run with my son, so we'll do 2 easy miles today. Last week when we did this, first mile was 9:20, and then I found my stride with running with him, and then I got down to 8:20. So still pretty good with my strides running with him. But today I'm just going to do something easy, just because we're still kind of recovering from the stomach stuff. Maybe tomorrow I'll do 6 miles. But again, this whole shortened week into the race, you guys won't get a lot of content. So I figured that I might just throw this in with the DONNA Half Marathon that I'm doing with my dad. So check in with you at the end of this run, just to kind of see how me and my son did. Well, I said easy run, and the 2 miles ended up being 8:27, but I guess for 2 miles that's should be kind of easy pace as far as it goes. But stroller as an extra effort. So I thought it was gonna be closer to 9 minutes, but this felt good. Got the stride going, so 8:27, and this little guy, I think he's about to pass out. So it's good to know that this running is self-soothing for him and can get him to take a little naps as we get further runs in. So I feel good with no stomach issues. So tomorrow I'm gonna go solo, no sun. We're gonna do the 6 miles, and then we got the race on Saturday, and then yeah, we'll throw everything in this race with the half marathon. Probably won't cover the full training of next week, but you know, something here or there, something sparks progression with like my tempo runs and stuff like that, or but really just going to cover the half marathon altogether. It's next day, Thursday, so today is our normal 6 miles run. So we are actually doing the increased speed as we talked about last video. So this will be the attempt for 8:50 to 9:20. I've been hitting under 9:20, so I should be able to hit that, but trying to get closer to the 8:50 pace. So if we do feel good doing that, then we'll repeat it next week. If we feel good doing that again, then we'll increase again. But again, who knows how we are doing after this whole stomach bug. Obviously yesterday felt a lot better than I was expected, so we're gonna get these 6 miles in and see how we are feeling at the end. 6 miles down, ended up being a 8:40 pace, so feeling pretty good. It was nice cool weather out today, so that helped. And then heart rate was between 160 and 165, so felt good doing it. Faster pace than anticipated, so we will keep this pace for next week. And then if we feel good for that one, then we can obviously bump it down to 8:40 and start pushing ourselves a little bit more to that tiny bit of uncomfortable zone, but not too much. We want to stay comfortable while keeping this good pace for training. So we'll see how like this keeps up. Again, I keep repeating this, how this is going to keep up with the summer heat. Obviously that's going to be a bit of ways away, but still, if we can build that good foundation and keep up good paces, feeling comfortable with that heart rate low and keeping up with this, hopefully we won't get too impacted by this summer. We can truck through that, but feeling good. Tomorrow rest, gold talk, Saturday 5K race. All right, goal talk for the Matanzas 5K. This one's a little bit more interesting, seeing as last week we smashed our PR by over a minute. So kind of just want to see if I can repeat that performance, or was that a fluke? Like, you know, what got me to that 23:18 that, you know, I was striving for sub 24 for quite a bit, and then all of a sudden, like only 18 seconds off. I know, not only, but quite close to sub 23. So last year's time for this race was 24:27. So it was actually like my PR for almost the entire year up until that New Year's Eve run where I beat it by 3 seconds. And then obviously last week I smashed that PR by over a minute. So again, the goal is to be like just kind of somewhat repeat last week with a sub 24. So that would obviously have me beating last year's time. And then let's see if I can get close to like maybe the same time as last week. So I'm going to try to go out at a 7:30 pace and see if I can maintain that. This is supposed to be a pretty flat and fast course. The only like negative to today, or to the race, is it is a 45-minute race, or it's a 45-minute drive away. So it starts at 8, which means I'm going to have to leave the house no later than 6:30, which normally I can leave at like 7:30. So just going to have to like get up early, drive a long time, you know, and then get loose and stretch, and then see if I can hit some fast times again. So we will catch with you on race. Finished the race at 23:48. Pretty good for what happened this week. I had the GI bug in the beginning of the week, and then I had picked up like a cold or my allergies or something picked up where I had like a stuffy nose, a little bit of cough, scratchy throat. That started yesterday and really picked up this morning. So pretty good, I think, for those two factors going to the week. Ultimate goal was to get 20 or under 24 minutes. I was actually doing pretty good for the first 2 miles, where I was pacing around 7:29, which would have been like on track for what we did last week. But I then looked at my watch and saw that I was creeping up to 190 heart rate. So I was like, nah, I'm just gonna back it off. It's not worth trying to push through that, trying to get another PR. So got the goal of under 24 minutes. I'm feeling decent for what it is. And then now we're gonna go into training and preparing for the DONNA Half Marathon and pacing my dad for that. Okay, we are jumping from the end of the last race, the Matanzas 5K, to now that we're sitting here. And if you're wondering why we don't have another week's worth of training videos leading up to the DONNA, like I talked about earlier in the video, it's because I was sick. I've been sick for almost 2 weeks now, maybe just a little under, and I'm just now getting over it. My dad was also sick too. I think I got the sickness from him. Started off with that GI bug, and I normally don't associate it with like a cold, but my dad he told me at the time it was food poisoning, but then he went into having a cold. So like he had like food poisoning. He told me about that, and like the day after I started having this GI problem, and then he came and watched me do the Matanzas 5K. And I said, hey, I woke up, I feel like I'm getting a cold or allergies or something. And he said he had been having a cold for like 3-4 days. So all his symptoms were 3-4 days ahead of mine. But anyways, got pretty bad. Was coughing, congestion. The phlegm was draining back into my throat. So like that was causing a worse cough. So didn't want to train during that. It was even evidence like in the beginning of the sickness when I was running that Matanzas, and my heart rate was going up to 190. I just knew my heart rate was not going to be good for training leading up to the DONNA. And the fact that I was going to be doing my dad's pacer, I wasn't that concerned with it, just because I knew I was going to go at a slower pace. I am filming this after the race, but to talk about what his goals was he originally wanted to run like an average of a 13-minute mile. That, of course, was going to be like the perfect scenario for him. But then as both of us being sick, it kind of just shifted into just finishing the race. He actually debated pulling out from the race that Wednesday before the DONNA. But I told him, hey, let's just give it till Saturday morning to think about it, because I would still leave us 3 to 4 days to recover and get healthy. You know, we're not gonna hit the pace, but we at least can try to finish it. So we talked it over. We decided to go through with it, which turned out to be a great experience. But then, like I said, it was just about finishing it. We showed up morning of, and the feel like temperature was 6 degrees. So that was just like another added factor to it. But we are going to show you the videos and photos from it now, and then I'll kind of recap the race. So here is the DONNA Half Marathon. All right, we're just moments away from your first half marathon. Longest you ran, just a little over 9 miles. Been dealing with sickness the last couple of weeks. Feel like temperature's 6 degrees right now. Tell me your thoughts and feelings prior to the race.
I know, it's probably almost the worst possible situation, except for if it was raining. But I feel good. I think it's going to be a good race. I'm really looking forward to my first half. This is going to be actually the longest I've ever ran walk in my life. So looking forward to it. And see you at the end.
1 mile down, 12:15 mile pace. Feeling good. 12.1 more to go. Let's do it. First 5K down.
Yeah.
Feel a little good. Had a little break. We're tracking ahead of schedule. How we feeling?
Very good. Better. The cold weather actually helped.
All right, awesome. Halfway done. Still projected to be under 3 hours. So we're gonna see if we can keep this up.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. All right, we're over 9 miles in. It's the furthest he's ever gone. Oh, now this is the furthest. Now this is the furthest. This is the furthest. He keeps going, because you know what? The grind don't stop. Let's go. You battled through sickness, fought through freezing temps, 13.1 miles down. Tom Bucknell, you are a half marathoner. How do you feel?
I'm glad I finished. About 8 miles, my knees said no more. And then about 10 miles, my hips and quads said no more. But we finished it. Thank you, Tyler, for helping me along the way, pushing me along the way. Glad I finished. And I think there may be another one. We'll see.
So, 62 years old, my dad finished his first half marathon. Proud of him. He's still kicking it, still getting the miles out there, still pushing himself to the limit, putting the hard work grind in. He did say he was going to be one and done. This was prior to the race, but now he wants a redemption half marathon. Just because, like I said, the sickness, the cold, and all the factors that kind of pushed him back. He had 3 weeks off of running because of sickness, so he was actually sick longer than me and was taking longer to recover. Of course, I got on antibiotics the day before the DONNA, so that kind of helped. But total time, 3 hours, 23 minutes. Still pretty good. The first couple of miles, we were hitting like 12, 30-ish pace. I had like asked him, how's he feeling? He said, felt great. Legs were fine. Breathing, conditioning was fine. Heart was fine. We got a couple miles, I think like another mile or two in. I think it was around the 5K point. I said, hey, what's your heart rate at? And he said it was 160, which is high for him. So anytime his heart rate got up to 160, we would kind of stop, walk, or slow down until it got below 150. And then we start picking up again. And he was doing pretty well. We were tracking sub 3 hours the entire like first half, maybe even 7 miles of the race. We had the Race Joy app, which if you guys don't know, it's like a tracking, pretty good tracking for spectators. I think they're used for all the major marathons. I know my brother used them for Chicago and like another, I think the Detroit Marathon. I know that's not like a major marathon. I guess the DONNA's not a major one, but the big marathons they're used for. So it uses the GPS tracking so spectators can track how you're doing along the way. And then it also like reads out to me, like it says what my last mile pace was, what my average pace was, and what we are tracking for an estimated finish time. So we're still hitting under 3 hour tracking. And during the race, as we're going, I said, anything under 3.5 hours is gonna be great. If we can hit 3:15, that's awesome. But just knowing that what we went through the 2 to 3 weeks prior, we just knew that, you know, sub 3 hours was really going to be pushing it. But he did pretty good for the first 7 to 8 miles. And then the 8 mile mark, he just hit a wall. I don't think we did hardly any running, maybe a couple strides in there. So we kind of just walked the rest of the way. I know like at 10 miles, he said 10 miles, we got the 5K left, was going to push through the pain. We had some good atmosphere, and he's like, okay, let's go. And he started going, and we got 10, 15 strides down. He's like, no, his knees were just hurting too much. His quads were hurting. But he said his heart rate and conditioning felt fine. It's just his legs gave out on him. So he wants a redemption race for that. So that's pretty cool. We'll have to find one. He might be doing the Jacksonville Half Marathon. So that's the one I did last year. And that's the one I just did my full marathon on. So we're going to see how he does for that. the Donna was an amazing experience. There was a lot of people. I think there was over 3,800 half marathoners, about 700 full marathoners. So the largest crowd of runners I've been into. And then the spectators, the vibes were awesome, which makes me really like excited for Berlin, because I know the major marathons are like 100 times that. So, but the atmosphere again was cool. I think I might consider doing the full one next year. So we'll have to go into that. But again, super proud of my dad. First half marathon in the books, maybe more to come. But until next time, y'all have to do. See ya. Bye.